Okay, hello and welcome. Chris here, and in this video we're going to look at the best time to send web and browser push notifications. Now, web push messages appear instantly in the browser window. Their invasiveness makes them a great list building and marketing tool, but it can also make them annoying, and always remember that the unsubscribe button is only a click away. So for these reasons, it's vital that we choose the right time to send, both in terms of day of the week and also time of the day across different time zones. After sending well over 100 web push messages, marketing to mainly customers in the USA, UK, Australia and Canada, but also selling to over 100 countries in the last year, here's what I've learned are the best times of the day and days of the week to send web push notifications for maximum clicks, conversions and sales based on the data that I'm about to show you. Firstly though, a quick introduction to the best time to send browser push messages. Obviously this training is based on web push and not push for apps. However, I do suspect the data is going to be somewhat similar because you see similar data with email, and I'm someone that sent millions of emails. In fact, I've only recently transitioned from email marketing to looking at push. However, the timing issue is especially important when it comes to sending browser web push notifications. That's because web push notifications, for better or worse, are extremely invasive, and this is really a double-edged sword. So the good news is its invasiveness means that we can get lots of clicks and conversions if we get the timing right. But the bad news is it also means that we can get lots of unsubscribes if we get the time wrong. Other points to consider when it comes to the timing of web push notifications. Remember, if the user isn't online when we send, then the message will sit on the server and only be delivered the second that the user goes online to start browsing, and therefore we will be interrupting their intent. This can be especially annoying if it's in the middle of the night. For all these reasons, it pays to study when to send web messages. The great news is with the Push Pro push service, all follow-ups are automatically sent when the user is subscribed, so you don't need to worry about the timing of your follow-up messages. Unfortunately, take it from someone who sells to over or has sold to over 100 countries in the last year, you will never be able to send at the perfect time for everyone. For example, two of my top 5 countries, the UK and Australia, are literally in complete opposite time zones. However, I can give you one piece of advice, which is to pay particular attention to the times that you send in the USA, especially when it comes to Eastern Time and Pacific Standard Time. You'll very often find that a lot of the best customers are based in these coastal time zones. For these reasons, my starting point is that I've always sent my emails between 1 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. So let's see how my assumption holds up to the data that we see when it comes to push notifications. So let's get into it. What are the best days and times to send web push messages? Let's look at the data from 80 push messages I've sent over the last few months based on the time of the day and also the day of the week as compared to the click-through rate that I saw from my messages. Before we dive into the data though, I want to make a few important points. Firstly, the data, also known as the output, may be skewed by me, which I'm going to call the input. For example, as you'll see, my click-through rate is extremely high on a Saturday. But that could simply be for the reason that I rarely send on Saturdays because I prefer to do other things on Saturday other than sit at home sending push notifications. So perhaps the click-through rate you see on a Saturday is because of the fact that I would only send a message for a very high quality offer. Overall though, the best days with the highest click-through rates for web browser push notifications are Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Again though, let's pause to reflect. I sell internet marketing products, and these tend to be most appealing at the start of the working week when people are thinking deeply about becoming full-time internet marketers. Note also that the times I'm about to show you are GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, London Time, so you will need to add 5 hours for Eastern Standard Time and 8 hours for Pacific Standard Time. Overall though, the best times of the day with the highest click-through rates for web browser push notifications are between 4 and 7 p.m. GMT, i.e. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. However, note also that 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. GMT, which is 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Eastern, or 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Pacific Time, do particularly well. This could be for the fact that no one sends at those particular times, or perhaps this is down to early risers who often tend to be older people with more money or around at these early times. Note also that the two times that I see doing particularly well fit with when a lot of people are getting up and getting ready for work, and also when people are on their lunch break and checking their emails. Also though, before I show you the data, do not be bound completely by the data. For example, I've heard from many successful marketers that the best days to launch a product are on Christmas Day and the 31st of December. And this obviously isn't because people are checking their emails more on these days. It's because there are so other few marketers who are actually sending messages, so there's no competition and you have the absolute attention and engagement of your market. So the data I'm about to show you, you will have access to it, but also other marketers may be looking at the same data. So for these reasons, do pay attention to the data, but also don't be afraid to stray from the norm and ignore the data on occasion. So let's look at the click-through rate that I've received for web browser push notifications based on time of day. And you can see that I've bolded the best times, which tend to be between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. GMT, and also between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. GMT. And I'm going to move on to the next slide. You can of course pause the screen if you want. But let's look at the best click-through rates I've seen for web browser push notifications based on day of the week. You can see that Monday to Wednesday tends to do particularly well, but then again so do Friday to Saturday. And perhaps this is because people on Fridays and Saturdays tend to either have more free time or tend to have more of an open mind when it comes to receiving information on new opportunities. Okay, I think that pretty much covers it for the training. Hopefully this video was useful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you.